This is Nancy Kennedy in McNairy County, and I'm proud to say that Mark Shelton has been nominated to get the Music Awards in McNairy County in 2020. So it's my privilege to tell you a little bit about him. Mark Shelton has already left a very personal stamp on the world of percussion, and he is by no means done yet. As an author, producer, educational consultant, and online content creator, Mark has reached and influenced countless young musicians, and who knows how many more as a recording artist. As a veteran touring and resident artist for more than 30 years, he has been involved in literally thousands of performances that has entertained, edified, and educated audiences numbering into hundreds of thousands. He is, quite simply, one of the most prolific contemporary percussionists working today. And guess what? His musical journey began right here in McNairy County. Mark's parents, Milford and Elizabeth Shelton, weren't musicians themselves, but they very much enjoyed music, instilling an early appreciation in it for their only child. Attending large local singings with his family is among Mark's earliest musical memories. The spirited live vocals and communal nature of those events left an impression on his young mind, which would show up later in his successful pursuit of the music industry. Mark's initiation to formal music training came, as it did for so many other local McNairy County students, when he encountered Frank Cajardo, McNairy County Music Hall of Fame inductee, in the Selmer Elementary School Band. It is a rare individual who can point to an experience in the 5th grade as a transformative moment. But when Cajardo administered a music aptitude test that identified Mark's natural inclination towards rhythmic instruments, it was life-changing. For the next 8 years, Mark would receive musical training in the local band that provided a bedrock foundation for a successful life and a career in music. Hopefully that's a good lesson for anyone who might question the value of arts and music education. What started as a fun and challenging music diversion would eventually become Mark's life work, as he single-minded pursued musical earnings and excellence. By his own admission, he was not the most gifted student in Cajardo's band, but he worked constantly and received versatile training and experience in marching, stage, and concert bands. It paid off. His hard work and talent landed him in Northeast Junior High College on a band scholarship. Upon receiving Associate of Arts in Music Education, Mark transferred to Louisiana Tech, where he earned a Bachelor in Music Education. After a year as a public band director, he was on the East Carolina University, where he was a graduate teaching assistant while he earned a Master's in Music in Percussion Performance. As he advanced through the educational ranks, Mark continued to rise to the top of each program, opening up new exciting opportunities for young percussionists. After completing the master's degree, he accepted a position as a resident artist in Coastal Carolina Community College that would foreshadow many aspects of his future career. His responsibilities included community outreach, which moved him from the world of academia into the role of music ambassador. He would perform in schools, community centers, churches, senior citizens, and other civic venues, imposing diverse audiences, many of them for the first time, to a variety of musical forms and concepts. It was also Mark's entree into the realm of publicly funded community arts programming. The visiting artist position was jointly sponsored by North Carolina Arts Council and the North Carolina Department of Community College. A second residency would soon follow a visiting artist in Wayne Community College in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Through the mid-1980s, Mark taught 1 year at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, as he continued to perform widely. In 1984, he was a prize winner in the Young Professors Competition in Los Angeles, sponsored by Association of Composers USA. Mark and his wife Beth, also a respected musician and producer in her own right, moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, where Beth would pursue graduate studies in music at the University of North Texas. The change of location would lead to a myriad of opportunities for Mark's growing reputation as a freelance percussionist. A part of the history of the musical instruments, Beth undertook a project to build a traditional hammered dulcimer. And he was so intrigued with this, it just expanded his musical vocabulary that this instrument offered, and Mark taught himself how to play it. The experience suggested exciting and new musical horizons for the couple. Mark was a percussionist with the Wichita Falls Orchestra for 8 seasons, even as his experimentation with new musical forms and a growing desire to forge his own creative future resulted in the formation innovative new music ensemble, Tila. The duo, which was a fruitful collaboration with the talented harpist Carolyn Mills, quickly became favorites with young adults in the Houston and Dallas area. Anticipating a growing wave of popular interest in roots music, Mark formed the Celtic band Instant Irish, which soon added traditional American music as in repertoire, and he changed the name to Folks Like Us. By the mid-1990s, the group had mixed an incredibly demanding range of the world music and original compositions into a set list, and began performing as the Roof Tango. The refined ensemble and embrace of the broadest ranges of styles made Roof Tango a highly popular world music, enabled in demand for performances in Texas and beyond. For more than 24 years, the band performed in every imaginable venture, from educational settings to concert halls, even here in McNairy County. All the while, Mark was putting his talents to use in music and ministry. He was the principal percussionist at Calvary Church in Irving, Texas for 22 years, and later joined the worship team at Gateway Church, one of the largest churches in the United States. He was a percussionist with the Daystar Singers and Band, which were featured on the Marcus and Joni show for Daystar Television. More than gifted musicians, Mark and Beth have acted as co-producers on numerous projects, including 2 albums listed under the Folk Like Us for North Star, and with the 10 Roofs eponymous album. The couple created their own production company, Mark Shelton Productions, through which they produce music and music educational videos. Mark's engaged in YouTube performances, and his percussion tip on Tuesday on his social media platform have become favorites for young percussionists nationwide. Mark has released 2 solo percussion albums and original compositions available through prestigious publishers of percussion music. He has authored 6 books for elementary music education, and his instructional writings has appeared prominently in both online and print periodicals. Mark is an endorsing artist for and a member of Remo Percussion Educational Team. For those unfamiliar with this company, Remo is one of the world's best-known percussion brands. Mark has been a featured artist at the Percussion Arts Society International Convention and North Carolina and West Texas Days of Percussion, He has been a respected and popular member of the Texas Commission of the Arts touring artist roster for many years. By now, you've heard a lot of points on this list about his accomplishments and his awards, but they could go on and on. Suffice it to say that the depth, the variety, influence, and longevity of his career easily establish him as one of the best percussionists McNairy County, or Tennessee for that matter, has ever produced. His creativity and mastery of the percussive arts are deeply respected by his peers and audiences alike. It is only fitting that he is the first artist ever recommended for introduction to the McNairy County Music Hall of Fame as an individual percussionist. As impressive as all of this may be, one of the most compelling arguments for his induction into the Hall of Fame is Mark's extraordinary ability to communicate his love of music to others, especially students. The letter of nomination spoke his infectious energy as a performer and his exemplary record of service as a mentor to aspiring young musicians. It made the case that his towering talent is a clear reflection of his worth ethic, and a better measure of Mark Shelton's significance as an artist is his tremendous heart, a heart that overflows in the joy of music. It is my great honor to induct Mark Shelton into the McNairy County Music Hall of Fame in the class of 2020. Thank you.
Greetings from Texas. Thank you, Arts and McNairy, for the honor of membership in the McNairy County Music Hall of Fame. And thank you, Nancy, for the nomination. God has showered my life with blessings, and I certainly count it a blessing to be a son of McNairy County. I was born in Selmer, grew up in the Sandy Flat community, and educated in the McNairy County schools. Friends, family, teachers from this area have shaped my life, and I'll take a moment to highlight 3 McNairy Countians who have played an important part in my musical life. When I was in the 5th grade, Frank Conjardo taught me how to hold drumsticks. For 8 years, Mr. C was part of my music education. Frank Conjardo not only taught me music, he also spoke encouragement into my life. But I would not have been the recipient of those words of encouragement and that great music education without my parents allowing me to be a part of the band program. Milford and Elizabeth Shelton drove me to rehearsals, arranged rides, attended performances, and they endured a lot of drumming around the house. My parents supported my musical endeavors in elementary, junior high, high school, and they supported my decision to study music in college, even though my mother wanted her only child to be a doctor. Speaking of support, I'll mention one more person. She's not a McNairy Countian. She's a Louisiana girl, but she's gotten to know this area pretty well since she met me years ago. I'm talking about my wife, Beth. Beth has been a constant source of support and encouragement, and as a musician herself, she's been a vital part of Mark Shelton Productions. It is with a grateful heart that I accept induction into the McNairy County Music Hall of Fame. Yeah, time for some music. First up, you'll hear the hammered dulcimer on a tune I wrote, Mountain Whirl, followed by a short burst of improvisation, on the rhythm bones. I'll wrap up my segment with the sounds of another percussion instrument, the hung. Here we go.
Gonna rocking.